you would trust other than Donald Trump?
Well, I kind of believe, in my opinion, like the majority of the Republican Party are a bunch of rhinos, and I trust very few of them. There are some good ones out there. There are some good ones out there. I like Ted Cruz a lot. I used to like Ron DeSantis.
How about Nikki Haley? She seems to be the Trump alternative these days.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. And Scott is cool. Yeah, there are some good Republicans out there, but I think 3/4 of the party are no good. 3/4 of them are rhinos. It's because this is not a battle. This is not a battle of Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus liberal. This is a battle of righteous, patriotic Americans versus the depraved. This is like righteousness versus depravity. The Democratic Party has been completely co-opted by Marxists, but it isn't party politics.
President Nikki Haley.
We need Republican in the House. If she was to get in, there's a possibility that we could hopefully get some of our Republican Party to work with her. And
President Chris Christie.
No, again, it's just going back to where we were. It's just kind of taking steps backwards.
President Ron DeSantis.
That would help. I mean, again, he was a somebody that Trump mentored, and so I do think if he was to get in, it could be a hopeful.
President Mike Pence.
That's another one that I think America would hope that could possibly maybe work with Trump again after he became president. And
I was going to say President Vivek Ramaswamy.
No, again, it's taking steps backwards.
And in 2020, real quick before I let you go, if it's not Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, any of those have any appeal to you?
Vivek does.
How come?
Well, I mean, he's a thinker. I mean, and he seems that he's somewhat wise beyond his years, as far as projecting down the road and thinking that way. Ron DeSantis, I was really a Ron DeSantis fan, but he just seems very wooden now. He's
somebody who's not wooden is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Would she make a good vice president?
Oh no. I think the Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, they all need to just go away because they're kind of ruining what the Republicans are actually trying to do.
Any Democrat that you would vote for other than Joe Biden? That if Joe Biden wasn't the nominee, is there any Democrat that would have any appeal to you?
I would love a Democrat with some economic sense, but that doesn't exist currently. So I don't have any options right now.
Robert Kennedy.
Potentially.
He's an independent now.
He's an independent, which appeals to me because I'm a little bit more middle of the road. I like the Democratic policies, but I understand math.
President Chris Christie.
The New Jersey aspect would be very funny more than anything.
President Nikki Haley.
Somehow our foreign policy would be worse. That would be very interesting to see.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back, one and all, to the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. So what's on tap for today? Well, as you saw there in that little video snippet, TYT, the Young Turks, also affectionately known as the Young Jerks, thanks, Sank the Jank, anyways, went out there, did their man on the street, the reporter, and just trying to ask average, everyday Trump folk, what do they think about the other candidates running in the Republican primary for president against Donald Trump. And so here we have this gentleman right here. Green hat, love the color. Make America great again in a green hat. Love it. And I think what he was trying to articulate, go back to the video in the early beginning, he was basically saying this isn't about right versus left, conservative versus liberal, Democrat versus Republican. It's not that. What this battle is about, folks, is something that we've talked about so many times, and it is the haves versus the have-nots. It's the elites versus the non-elites. It's the political ruling class, which are the elites in the establishment, against average everyday folk, what we like to call flyover country, right? Not the two coasts, the left coast and the right coast, but everything. You ever see a map of the counties? It's the whole United States is completely red, folks. It is red, except the little sliver going down the East Coast and that sliver going down the California, Washington, Oregon coast. Other than that, oh, and then you basically got a blueberry, all right, and a bunch of strawberry in Texas. Anyways, what he was trying to articulate, and he was doing a really good job, but I just want to add to it, is that it is the country club class, which are those elites in Washington, D.C., versus just the country class, where those folks in flyover country. And it's about those that want to rule and those that are supposed to, they're the ones that say, you're going to be the, who are the rulers? Who are going to be the people that are being ruled? And that's what this battle is all about, because that's what's happening in D.C. We send these people to Washington, D.C. to articulate our values, where they're coming from in our counties, our cities, our towns, our states. And somehow they get to Washington, D.C., and all of a sudden they get hit with the lobbyists. They get hit, oh, now they've got to start to run again. If you're going for House of Representatives, basically you're in there for what? Less than a year, and then you got to start to run again? The power of the incumbency is so powerful. And I'm sure, okay, absolute power, they say, corrupts absolutely. Well, that's one of the things that's happening to a lot of people that go to Washington, D.C. When we voted them, we go, what the hell are they voting for? You didn't say that when you were running. When I was shaking your hand, that's not what you said. You said you were going to do something about it. Now you didn't, or you turned 180 degrees around. What happened? That's the kind of thing, okay, that we've got to stop. That's what this guy is basically talking about. I love this guy. Look at him. Oh my God, he's Mr. Muscles over here. And he's got unbelievable, okay, a red, white, and blue star-studded, tee, muscle tee. Looks good in it, really good. He articulated the same thing. They were asking what do you think of the other candidates. Some of them he liked. Nikki Haley, you know what? Not for me. Obviously, too much of a neocon. Mike Pence, too much of a neocon. But at least he had some thoughts. He had some opinions. Said maybe it might be able to work. But no, yes, Washington, the Republicans, the big R Republicans, the establishment, they would love to have a Nikki Haley or the neocons. They would love to have a Mike Pence there. They would love to have a Tim Scott in there. They would love to have some of these other candidates, because they would be business as freaking usual. And the Democrats would love it as well, because they'd be able to work with them too. And that's exactly the problem that we have in Washington, D.C. That's not what we want. We want to get rid of the neocons. We want to get rid of the establishment. We want to put them with America First candidates. Whatever you want to call Trump's presidency, Trump's candidacy, it all boils down to an America First policy, an American nationalist policy. America isn't a DNA. You're born American. Doesn't matter what part, where you come from, what your ethnicity is, what your genetics are, what your DNA is. You're born in the United States, you get naturalized here, whatever it is, you are an American. And America first is what it should be. No hyphenations. You want to have hyphenations? Put America first. Then put the ancestry second. So a nice couple here. Don't want to take anything for granted, or be triggering somebody. Go, what do you mean a couple? There's no such thing as a couple. We're a trans couple. Who knows? But this couple here, you go back, you watch a video. Again, I guess he was a little bit down on Matt Gaetz. I'm not that big of a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, although has her moments. Lauren Boebert the same way. But at least these are America First candidates. So I do like that. Matt Gaetz, I love Matt Gaetz. This gentleman here was basically a little sour on the trio. All right, okay, that's fine. We can have our differences of opinion. But I'll tell you what. It's not Matt. It's Matt Gaetz and some of these other, the Freedom Caucus, the Jim Jordans of the world, that are trying to do what the American people want at the, what do you call it, the cellular level, right? The city level, the Hicks and Hayseed level, The flyover country level? That's what we sent you folks to do our bidding, not the bidding of the special interests of multi-billion-dollar lobbyists lobbying for what they want to do everything that we're against, right? That's basically the opinion that a lot of America First candidates have. The only power we literally have is the power to vote. Our pocketbook, it's just not strong enough, folks. It's not strong enough, and you know this, to fight against the lobbyist establishment that's there entrenched. And not only that, then you have government workers who leave the government sector and go work for the lobbyists. They know exactly which buttons to push. They've been hobnobbing and lunching and going out to dinners and partying with all the congressmen, all the senators, all the people in the deep state, all the people on their staff. You don't think these guys are schmoozing the staff people and saying, hey, listen, tell you what, try to get your guy to come over to our side. And guess what? When you leave, we might have something here for you, right? No quid pro quo there, isn't there? Well, folks, taking the time to watch, we really, really appreciate it. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Sheikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Haven't done so already? Like, share, and follow us. Subscribe to the channel. You know what to do. Check out our video links. They're somewhere around here. Anyways, we'll leave you with our final thought, which has always been, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.